This is the Nathan Ackerman Fine Arts Studio, and I am Nathan Ackerman. My art, displaying the creativity and, on occasion, the genius of my exhibitors, in a setting that is itself a work of art.
Do you mind if we ask you a few questions?
Please do. Consider me your host and ally. Don't hesitate to ask if I can help you resolve this affair quickly and cleanly.
I'll see what we can do. But Mr. Ackerman, there's nothing clean about murder.
I was out briefly on an errand, and to my devastation, I discovered a client, Rachel Maddox, dead on my gallery floor. You must understand that this is a crushing blow. Rachel was an excellent client and a dear friend. I can't imagine who would do such a thing. Perhaps a vagrant or one of these psychopathic killers you read so much about? Rachel was about to be a bride. She had commissioned a painting and a sculpture, both of herself, for her wedding from one of my best artists. Unfortunately, he can also be one of my slowest artists, and Rachel and her fiancé were, well, let's say, fit to be tied that the art pieces, which were due some time ago, were not ready. I had an emergency overnight artwork delivery to ship. I needed to leave by 5 p.m., but Rachel was adamant we had to wait for the artist to come. I really shouldn't have left the two of them alone in the gallery, but they were respectable clients. Anyway, Rachel, refused to leave. She said she was staying put just in case. I believe her words were, "Irresponsible ass of an artist does me the supreme favor of showing up." So that's how I came to leave the two of them here, and I had intended to be back before we closed at 6. As it was 6:10 before I returned, and found the door wide open, and Rachel in this terrible posture. As for her fiancé, he was nowhere to be seen.
Thank you so
This
much
is the
for
most
follow.
ghastly thing that has ever happened at the Nathan Ackerman Fine Arts Studio. What kind of mad beast are we dealing with here? Patrick Milton. Many of the works in this showroom are in fact his. He is not a critical darling, considered by some too commercial, but the public loves him, and as long as they do, so do I. Ah, that was the spark that lit the fuse of the argument between Rachel and Mark. The artist had vowed to be here with the finished painting and sculpture first thing this morning, but he didn't show up at all. Not the first time, and Rachel flew into a rage when he did not appear. Heavens, our association goes back years, almost a decade. Quite frankly, he's the star here. I've displayed and sold hundreds of his works. I could have sold more, but he misses so many deadlines. No matter how hard I've tried to breed professionalism into his artist soul, I failed. Still, it does sell. Ridiculous as it might seem, no. I have never once, in all the years of our very successful association, even seen his studio. As I say, he's quirky, private to the point of reclusiveness. Oh, but of course I have a phone number and a P.O. box. He wants his checks, after all.
That'll be enough to track him. Thanks, Mr. Ackerman.
Evidence collected. Let's go with the next one. What's her... Sorry, I didn't do this before. Was a little bit distracted. What's her fiancé's name?
Her fiancé is one Mark Stock, a taciturn fellow with a physique worthy of a Greek sculpture and just about as talkative. Frankly, he has the personality of a doorstop and the artistic taste of a hillbilly. Forgive my candor. The man does have his admirers. He's an ex-baseball player of some kind, from the minor leagues, I believe. As I said, he was here with Rachel when I left, but when I returned, she was alone, undead.
Anything else you can tell me about Mark?
Yes, they were having an argument about the art, which was unusual as Mr. Stock had never expressed an opinion from the beginning. Now he was making a stand. He said it was foolish to make such a fuss, and the wedding could easily go on without these silly pieces. But Rachel wasn't having any of that. In Mr. Stock's words, he can sound rather shrill for such a strapping specimen of masculinity. He said Rachel had become unreasonable and out of control over the artist not showing up. And, well, honestly, he had a point. She did have that side to her. Understand, I was very fond of Rachel, but frankly, some of the invective she hurled was directed not just at her fiancé, but, if you can imagine, at me.
If they were arguing, why did you leave them here?
Fortunately, a truce between the betrothed had come to pass before I had to leave. They were even, shall we say, affectionate. I felt comfortable enough leaving them alone. The storm had blown over, and they were like lovebirds again.
Any other thoughts about Mark Stock?
To me, Mark Stock would be an enigma if he had a higher IQ. During their tiff, he seemed cold, emotionless. He's one of those passive-aggressive types who occasionally erupt, but in a strange, distant way, unleashing a torrent of abusive language, but delivering that invective in a controlled, cruel manner, seemingly devoid of any feeling.
Do you have their current address?
They visit Vegas frequently, weekend getaways, on which they invariably stop by my gallery to do business. Rachel did so love art. What was the question? No, I have no address. They flew in for their wedding, and I have no idea at which hotel, though it will certainly be one of the pricier ones.
What can you tell us about the missing hawk statue?
I can tell you it's a disaster. That's one of our most valuable pieces. Hawks are a specialty of Mr. Milton's, and that's a signature work. Any Milton collector would kill to... excuse me, that was an unfortunate burst of hyperbole, but I can say with no exaggeration at all that the perch predator is an expensive item indeed, and I'll be calling my insurance agent as soon as we're done here.
Do you have a photo of that missing statue?
Standard operating procedure in the art game. I'll be glad to get it for you, though I'd appreciate its eventual return. Insurance, you know.
Okay. Can we look at your shoes?
Be my guest.
Close. Try using a similar tool.
Okey-dokey. We got some more evidence. Can we have your fingerprints to eliminate you as a suspect?
My fingerprints are all over this gallery, both literally and figuratively. As I said, I intend to cooperate fully. My life is an open book.
We'd like to look at the back office. Can you open it?
No, I'm sorry, no.
I'm an open
What
book,
happened to
you
full
said.
cooperation? Your life an open book?
My life is an open book, that I pledge to you. But I can't allow this door to be opened. I may seem inconsistent, but there are many expensive, even priceless objects dark back there, and I cannot risk damage. Particularly when I see no relevance to your investigation, since it's been locked throughout this entire unfortunate affair. I'm sorry, unless you have a warrant, I can't I just can't allow you to go flinging your fingerprint powder around and spritzing your various sprays.
Then we'll have no more questions. We have some new evidence, so let's go back to the location in the lab. Fingerprints.
The prints on the pedestal are Ackerman's. It's no surprise. It's his gallery. Of course, he's still a suspect.
Finally a match for the fingerprint.
This verifies Ackerman stepped in the victim's blood.
Okay, another mystery solved. Did we have anything more? Do we even have his shoe? Okay. Shoe prints. Can I just drag the shoe in here? Photo of smudged print on the floor. Hoppa! Confirmed match. As we expected. Let's try this again. We're going to Brass and hopefully, now we've talked to the people, to the person at the gallery, hopefully Brass will now... Yes! That was... Woohoo! Can you track down Mark Stock?
We've tracked every hotel and resort in Vegas. No small task. But we've got them registered at the Romanov, which is also where their wedding and reception is scheduled. Mark Stock's here to identify his fiance's body. He says he's eager to help. So let's give him the chance.
Alrighty.
We know this is difficult, Mr. Stock. You have our condolences.
You don't have to pretend to feel anything. You didn't know Rachel. Who did this to her?
Well, that's what we're trying to find out, sir. Best we can tell, you were the last person to see her alive.
That's not true.
Then who was, Mr. Stock?
Her killer, of course. Look, I was only with Rachel another maybe 15 minutes after Ackerman went off to mail a package or something. I had a previous engagement.
And what was that?
My bachelor party at Orgasma.
You mean the strip joint?
Yeah? You think a bachelor party's going down at a library or maybe a church basement?
Okie dokie. Can I just talk to him? Yep. What is your relationship with Mr. Ackerman?
A guy I used to play ball with recommended him to me. Some favor. As far as I'm concerned, Ackerman's a pretentious sleazeball. His word's as good as the paper it isn't written on, if you get me. And this crap with him and this clown Milton. I don't remember when I was ever so frustrated.
I just had to laugh because I saw your chat come in. He should be arrested for just that shirt. Yup. I'm just glad that the visuals back then weren't as good as they are now, because otherwise it would have been very curly in the area of his chest, I think. Blah. Let's see. Did you argue with your wife at the gallery?
Listen, I loved Rachel. I worshipped that woman. But she had a temper like a rabid monkey, and when Ackerman and Milton started jerking us around over that work, man, Rachel went off like a bomb. When that girl got mad, whoa, she'd get in your face and your eyeballs and teeth would melt.
Why were the art pieces so important to her?
She wanted her natural beauty preserved forever, displayed at the reception so her family and friends and the whole damn world could see her towering majesty.
Haha, yes, a very hairy Burt Reynolds chest hair. Probably yes. So I'm glad that it's an older game without all those extra options.
She insisted that damn artist would
Why did
show
you
up,
leave her
and the
alone?
owner was off on his errand. He left the keys with us in case he wasn't back by 6 so we could lock up for him.
He gave you the keys to the gallery?
Yeah, Rachel and me were supposed to lock up at 6. Ackerman headed out with his package, we had our little fling in back, and then, well, I had a bachelor party to go to.
Ooh, another new item in the case file. What about the prior assault charges?
I was a cocky kid, a college star who wound up in the minor leagues. I was too damn dumb to know I should just pay my dues like everybody else, and I made a lot of enemies, throwing my weight and my temper around. And I paid the price for it. That incident got me blacklisted from the league and ended any hope of a major league career. And it was my own damn fault, okay? And since then, hey, man, you're looking at a pacifist.
But maybe you had a relapse, snapped under all this wedding pressure.
After that bust, I started seeing a court-appointed shrink, and I am Mr. Chill now. Nothing gets to me, not even Rachel's temper. I look back on how I used to be, and man, I was not cool. I was a world-class ass. That's not me anymore. I loved Rach, and her family was gonna set me up in a sporting goods shop that would have given me a whole new lease on life. You think I would have flushed that down the John like I did my baseball career over an argument about some damn artwork? No way, man. No way. I didn't kill her. I loved her. But there is one situation where I might lose it again. Might have, what'd you say? A relapse.
How's that?
When you catch this bastard, if I get my hands on him, no guarantees, man. No guarantees.
What, you gonna cuddle him with your flowery shirt? Maybe search your hotel room. I feel a new location coming up.
Of course. We're on the same team, guys. Find who did this. Find him.
What do you mean by fling?
Oh, you know, just had our fun with some cheap champagne.
When did you leave and where did you go to?
I was supposed to meet the guys downtown at 6 before we headed for Orgasma and the Bash, so it, hell, must have been, what, 5:15? And I had to put pedal to the metal to make it on time, even so.
Case updated. Just playing around. Okie dokie. There is a new location coming up. And some nice graphics. Let's go to the hotel room.
It's a nice pad. It's not what I expected, though. This girl spends thousands on artwork for the wedding, but she opts for the junior suite? People and their priorities.
A junior isn't that bad. I think.
Wow, the European honeymoon of a lifetime. Not anymore.
Can't grab this.
A good idea to be thorough, but nothing's there.
Boring.
A good idea to be thorough, but nothing's there. A good idea to be thorough, but nothing's there.
I know I've played them all, but I don't remember this case at all. That's a shame. Would always use a partner in crime. I have played this too, but it's been so long. think I didn't even. Yeah, it's been very long. I'm trying to remember when I played this, but.
Grass can
When was
track
this
down this
game
number
from?
for us.
Let's check. This game is from 2006. I was just living in Kuik then. I think I still played it in my attic room. Ooh, somebody got on a phone number.
That artwork was definitely due the day of the murder.
There's still something to find, I think. But where and what? I still thought I could take this, but...
A good
Oh, yeah.
idea to be thorough, but nothing's there.
Yes, it's from 2006. You're not the only one feeling old.
A good idea to be thorough, but nothing's there.
I'm missing something, but where? There's nothing I can do with the cupboards. I grabbed the shirt that was on here. I grabbed what was there.
Hey, do you need a hint?
Nah. What am I missing here?
A good idea to be thorough, but nothing's there.
I am missing something because when I look at this, that doesn't have a red dot yet, and a red dot means that you've found everything there is to find. But what am I missing? Because I don't have any places lighting up green anymore. So I'm guessing I just go back to the lab now. Is there something hiding in the speakers on the TV? I tried to click on the TV and every time I get the message saying it's good to be thorough, but there's nothing to be found here.
Try something else, similar.
Evidence collected. Let's see whose blood it is. We have a swab of the victim's blood. And I don't want to brag, but I think it's a match. Match found. I thought the Warwick would tell us something about the case now, but nope. I think that was the only thing. Maybe on the back side. It's not turning anymore to this. Maybe this side. adding up. Okay, let's just go back then to the hotel room. Let's see if I can find something here. I will try the TV, but when I go to the TV, I click
A good
on
idea to be thorough, but nothing's there.
it says nothing's there, so I expect nothing. I can't go to the left and to the right. It's a fit screen. What we know now, the shirt has got the blood of the wife on it. Ah, I can do something with the other information. Can you track down the information from this phone?
That phone number was to a ticket theater broker. A clerk there remembers Rachel arguing with her about ticket prices.
Do you have any more information about Nathan Ackerman?
Our friendly neighborhood art dealer opened the gallery 12 years ago, and his record's clean. I found some online reviews saying Ackerman is an overcharging, tasteless fraud. But hey, that's no crime.
Can you track down Patrick Milton?
Even a self-proclaimed genius like Patrick Milton can't escape the electric company. And we got his address from their bill. Here you go.
Let's go there then. Sorry. Sorry.
And if I am?
Las Vegas Crime Lab. Murder investigation. Are you Patrick Milton?
Yes, all right, yes. I'm Patrick Milton, but I don't know anything about a murder, you say?
Yes, sir. We have a few questions. You mind?
You better make yourself clear about how this supposedly involves me, because I'm on a deadline. I'm an artist on commission here, and I have a painting to finish, and I'm trying to grab a window of solitude while these damn construction workers are on break or whatever they're doing. My God, the noise lately here.
Your commissioner has been killed. Is that clear enough?
What? Which commissioner? You don't mean Rachel? You don't mean Rachel Maddox, do you? It's not possible. There's no one on the planet more alive than Rachel. How did it happen?
Blunt force trauma, Mr. Milton. The murder weapon may have been a statue, possibly one of yours. The perched predator is missing from the gallery.
My lord, no. The hours, the months that went into that? Was it stolen? Please tell me it wasn't destroyed. It's one of my most valuable works.
Where were you yesterday at the time of the murder?
Well, right here, of course. I mean, I practically live in this studio. The demands on me as an artist are unceasing.
Why didn't you show at the gallery?
Haven't you talked to my patron, the esteemed Nathan Ackerman? He called me and tore me a new one, and I decided the best thing to do was to stay home and get this painting and sculpture completed before Rachel's wedding day. I've been bunkered in here slaving ever since. My intention was to deliver everything tomorrow, right before the wedding. I couldn't see wasting time dealing with Rachel. There was a lot to admire about her, her spirit, her intelligence, but she was frankly the worst-tempered woman I ever met. The most difficult client I ever encountered. I figured the less contact with her, the better.
What's the painting? Is that the painting of Rachel behind you?
That's it, and it's going well. I'm almost done with it, but I guess there isn't any hurry now. Pity. Despite her ugly side, Rachel was a beautiful woman and a worthwhile subject.
Okay, what's your relationship with Rachel?
Well, it began cordially enough. She was a big admirer of my work, owned a number of my bird and animal sculptures. She approached me to do these special paintings to be displayed at her wedding reception. And I told her I rarely did the human form. I'm a nature artist, you see, and I have a knack for just slightly idealizing reality. Well, she did have her charming side, you know, and she said, well, I'm one of nature's best works of art. Are you up to capturing me? How could I turn her down? And the money wasn't bad either. And as I say, I would have delivered the painting and sculpture on time. Nick of time, but on time. Right at the reception ballroom. I'm almost done now.
Did you contact Rachel or Ackerman to tell them about this change of plans?
No. And before you condemn me as rude and egocentric, let me just say, you never had a deal with Rachel Maddox. You have no idea the hoops she made me jump through. Sounds unkind now that she's dead, but really, I wanted to keep her waiting. Let her, no other way of saying this, suffer a little, like I had. Let her squirm and stew. But my lord, I would never wish anything like this upon her.
How would you describe your working relationship with her?
In a word, rocky. She was a lovely girl, but rich and spoiled. At the beginning, she posed live for me, but she was so demanding. Kept leaving her modeling pedestal to see what I was doing. Literally look over my shoulder. That, oh hell, that was just maddening. Finally, I just banished her from my studio. I'd already taken photographs of her in the desired pose, and these were sufficient reference. And photos don't talk back, nag, or interfere with the artistic process in any way.
Can you tell us more about Mr. Ackerman's phone call?
Well, from my point of view, it was entirely unprofessional and even hostile. I deserve better from someone I worked with for so long. You have no concept how much money I've made for Nathan Ackerman. But at least I didn't get caught up in a screaming match. I let the answering machine get it. He wanted me to drop everything and get over to the gallery. It was pretty clear from how frazzled he sounded. He had his own generous serving of Rachel Maddox at her worst.
So you're telling me you didn't drop by to set Ackerman and your client straight?
Hell no. Nathan I could handle, but as overworked as I am, dealing directly with Rachel Maddox, I didn't need that grief. Well, frankly, my intention was to avoid seeing her at all. She'd be at the wedding, and I'd be at the reception ballroom dropping off the art. Call me a coward, but you people never saw Rachel in full flaming bitch mode.
Can you prove you were here between 5 and 6 p.m.?
I live and work alone, but you already know I had no reason to leave until this artwork was finished. Haven't you been listening?
Can we take the cassette tape?
I guess you can take it.
They still used cassettes back then? Wow. I think I was using mini disc at the time. Mind if we take a look around?
Actually, yes. The Maddox Stocks wedding commission is only part of what I have on my plate. And I've been battling headaches and back problems, what with all this horrendous construction racket going on, starting at 7 a.m., including weekends. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to concentrate?
Do you use squirrel hairbrushes?
I usually use red sable, but I probably have a few squirrel brushes, yeah.
The victim's clothing revealed a paintbrush hair.
And you consider that unusual in an art gallery. You have any idea how many artists work in this town? Hundreds. And you'll find thousands of squirrel hair brushes. Good luck to you.
Well, I see your comment. Ooh, mini disc, that's posh. Well, I never heard of mini disc until I met my my then boyfriend, and he had a mini disc system in his car. And after I got my license, I was allowed to drive in that car. So I got myself a mini disc because A, it was easier than CDs. B, they didn't skip as much as CDs and you could record them easily by yourself. And C, I could play my music in the car. Woohoo! I still have the mini disc players, by the way. Haven't used them in ages, but I still have them. Let's see, mind if we take a few of your brushes? Let's go back to the game.
Look, I'll cooperate. I know you have a job to do. But understand that I have a job to do myself. Take what you want, and then please leave me to my work to myself. Art doesn't happen. It's a struggle, and I need my solitude. And it may seem callous, but I consider finishing my artwork a higher priority than finding whoever killed Rachel Maddox. Dig into her life, and you'll find as many people not sorry to see her dead as you will squirrel hair brushes.
Ooh, we got a can of paintbrushes. And I guess that was the last of this. Let's go back to the lab. I'm guessing.
There's more to be done with that item before we can process it. You'll want a different tool for that.
Okay, I've got some paint samples. Is that all that's left to be done? We got a hair, okay. Now we can put one and one together.
So we got common variety squirrel paintbrush fibers. The two samples are consistent with each other, but not enough for a positive identification.
Okie dokie. What should we do now? We're not ready here, we're not ready there. Will Brass have something more for us?
Once you get enough evidence,
Nope.
I'll hit up a judge.
I don't think the morgue has anything new for us. Maybe we have to talk to the guy again about his brushes?
I don't have anything else to say to you people.
Nope. Did we miss something here then?
Hey, do you need a hint?
I don't want to use my hints, I want to play the game, but I think I'm missing something and I have no clue to what it is. I think I already investigated everything that I got. Oh wait, the cassette tape. Something I can do with this? Is there something I can, somewhere I can play it? Oh. What's this? Chemical analysis. We have that paint. Bottle shirt.
This paint is not common. It's probably a mix of multiple paints, which is why the database can't find a match.
Okie dokie. Do we have something for the cassette tape? DNA. Trace analysis. Can it play cassettes? Probably not. Oh wait, audiovisual. No! Go on, hand.
Message received, 3:30 p.m.
Patrick, are you there? I know you're there. Pick up. Damn it, Patrick. This unprofessionalism has to cease. Get down here with that painting and statue ASAP. And if they're not done, you come deal with Rachel Maddox. She's climbing the walls, not to mention my ass. Take half an hour and put some finishing touches on and bring that blasted art. We need her final payment today to cover up the... well, damn it, just get down here. This witch is finding new depths of unpleasantness, and we have to calm her down somehow. And Patrick, if you're not here within the hour, my next call will be to my attorney to instruct him to sue your egotistical irresponsible ass. Understood?
Wow, doesn't sound much like the host and ally we know. Sounds like Ackerman was on the edge.
Okay. I'm getting a little bit tired, and my hands are getting, oh, my hand, that's I'm using mouse is getting a wee bit tired, so I'm gonna save this game. Is there a save for me? Or does it only save automatically? I think it only saves automatically. Okay. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for the chat, Derby Drinker. I really enjoyed it. And thank you for the picture on Twitter. I replied when I saw that my stream wasn't functioning well. Have a good night, rest of the night. Thank you, you too. I have about an hour left and then it's bedtime for me, so I'll probably crash on the couch with my lab. Thank you for joining. Have a very good night. And I hope to see you back someday.